When U.S. President Donald Trump first announced his reciprocal tariffs on April 2nd, there was a sense of grandeur. The event took place in the White House Rose Garden, featured a live music band, and Trump presented massive tariff charts, color coded for visual clarity. This time, however, the updated reciprocal tariffs, announced late last night ahead of their implementation on August 1st, lacked that same pomp and circumstance. The announcement came via the White House website, where President Trump declared steep tariffs on exports from dozens of trade partners, including Canada, Brazil, India, and Taiwan. According to the presidential proclamation, the U.S. will impose a 35% tariff on many goods from Canada, 50% on those from Brazil, 25% on Indian products, 20% on Taiwanese exports, 15% on Turkish goods, and 39% on Swiss imports. The order also lists plans for an additional 10% to 41% tariff increase on imports from 69 trade partners within 7 days. Some countries had managed to negotiate reductions in the tariffs announced in April, while others did not get the opportunity to engage with the Trump administration. Trump has made exceptions for certain goods set to ship within the next week. All other countries not listed will face a flat 10% U.S. import tax. Trump previously indicated this rate could be raised. Using his extraordinary powers, the president continues to exert pressure on foreign leaders through trade policies that caused market sell-offs when first revealed in April. The proclamation argues that although some partners have engaged in negotiations, they failed to address imbalances or align sufficiently with U.S. economic and national security concerns. Specifics on which products will be subject to higher tariffs, including rules of origin, have not yet been released. Separate executive order for Canada and delay for Mexico. Trump issued a separate executive order for Canada, raising tariffs on fentanyl-related products from 25% to 35%, criticizing Canada for not cooperating to stop the flow of illegal drugs into the U.S. In contrast, tariffs on many Mexican goods were delayed for 90 days to allow more time for trade negotiations. A previously planned 30% tariff on these products was postponed. Trump had earlier criticized Canada for being very poorly run. Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney expressed disappointment over the decision and pledged to take measures to protect Canadian jobs and diversify exports. The delay for Mexico came after a phone call between Trump and Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum. According to Mexico's economy ministry, about 85% of U.S. imports from Mexico comply with USMCA rules of origin, shielding them from the 25% fentanyl-related tariffs. Trump stated that tariffs of 50% would remain on Mexican steel, aluminum, and copper, while 25% tariffs would continue on Mexican cars and non-USMCA compliant goods linked to the fentanyl crisis. On Truth Social, he also claimed Mexico had agreed to immediately remove numerous non-tariff trade barriers without providing further details. Dispute with India. Indian goods now face a 25% tariff after negotiations stalled over U.S. access to India's agricultural sector. Trump also threatened further penalties over India's continued oil imports from Russia. Despite ongoing talks, New Delhi has vowed to protect its labor-intensive farming sector, and Trump's threats sparked opposition party outrage and a depreciation of the rupee. Trump's decision to raise tariffs comes amid growing evidence that these taxes are beginning to push up consumer prices.